long at all, but Brother Earl, would you lead us in that song, Forever You're My King, just a little bit of that? What key are you in? All right. Okay. Go ahead.
In thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. And the people of God said, Amen. Amen. And amen. Turn to Psalm 107, where we find these familiar words. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is sure enough good, and his mercy endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy, gathered them out of the lands from the east and from the west and from the north and from the south. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. something happens when the redeemed say so. The word redeemed had a powerful meaning to the ancient singers and hearers of this song. This word redeemed carried a weightiness with the people who were once enslaved in Egypt. The talk of redemption was a very serious matter to those who were once exiled in Babylon. The word redeemed was restricted to explaining God's deliverance from the worst of circumstances. It was not for describing getting out of everyday problems or petty annoyances. Because David talks here about being redeemed from the hand of the enemy. In other words, if you were to say that you were having a bad hair day and you went to the beauty salon and a hairdresser redeemed you from a bad hair day, that would be an incorrect usage of the term. And if you were to say, I was worried about getting a parking space tonight, but just when I pulled up, somebody pulled out, and I was then redeemed from a challenging parking situation, that would be an incorrect usage of the word. When I came from 38th and Chestnut, my apartment, I took an Uber here to get here, and I knew it would be a short ride, but the driver was playing M.E. Yeah, and it was the explicit M.E. And I was trying to get all spiritual and ready for the sermon, and I said to myself, well, this is not going to be a long ride, but as it kept on playing and kept on playing and kept on using anti-Sunday school words, when I finally got out of the car, Reverend Broadnex, I felt like I had been redeemed, but that would be an incorrect usage of the word. The word redeemed was reserved to describe a difficult situation. In other words, if you had said, I was surrounded by my enemies, couldn't find no way out. They had shovels digging the grave where I was going to be buried. They had already picked out the restaurant where they were going to have a victory dinner over my demise. But just when I thought it was over, the hand of God caught me and snatched me out of that situation. I could say then that I've been redeemed. That would be the correct usage of the word. The word redeemed was reserved to describe something that was about to devour you, annihilate you, or disappear you. It was reserved to describe circumstances in which life dangles on the edge of a cliff, but just before falling into a dark abyss, a divine rescue team swoops in. Joseph talked about being redeemed after being sold into slavery by his brothers and later thrown into jail on false allegations. But after he had made it from the prison to the palace, he said, the angel of the Lord redeemed me from evil. Moses talked about it when he described the exodus from the hellish nightmare of Egypt. He was overheard crying out to God, thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. And then David extended this by declaring that the redeemed of the Lord ought to say so. It's nice to think about it. It's nice to reflect on it, to cherish it in our hearts. But ere now and then, the redeemed of the Lord ought to open up our mouths and declare to the atmosphere, to the world, I've been redeemed. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for his mercy endures forever. David says, you who wander in desolation with no city to dwell in, and God brought you out, and you whom the Lord gave vineyards that you didn't plant, and wells that you didn't dig, and cities that you didn't build, you ought to say so. You who were hungry and thirsty, believing that life was over, but God sent you bread from heaven and water springing out of a rock, you ought to say so. You who cried out to the Lord from a deep pit of trouble, and the Lord heard your cry and picked you out of the muck and the miry clay and put your feet on a rock to stay, you ought not be cute about it. You ought to tell somebody. You ought to say so. If there's anybody in the building who has ever been in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you were in serious danger, but God got you out of there. If there's anybody in the building who was knocking on death's door, the doctors were certain of your demise, but the Lord canceled the funeral. If there's anybody in here who was born into a life-threatening family with death and demons all around you, you were headed for the anonymity of a statistician's report, but God found a way to rescue you. If there's anybody in here that knows that you were a sinner with a first-class reservation to hell, but God canceled the reservation by the blood of Jesus, if you know that just being alive is a miracle from God, you ought to say so. You are not allowed to sit on God's blessing. He needs a witness to tell somebody that the redeemed of the Lord is our business tonight. I'm going to say so. You ought to say so. Because something happens when the redeemed of the Lord open up their mouths, tell the devil he is a lie, but God is real. Something happens when the redeemed of the Lord say so. It shifts the atmosphere. It puts demons on the run. It makes angels shout glory. It causes Jesus to stand up. It makes the Father smile. It causes the Holy Ghost to dance. When the redeemed of the Lord say so, something happens. It means that those who were counted out now have all of the benefits and the privileges of the kingdom of God, and can't nobody keep you quiet but you. When the redeemed say so, somebody gets rescued. Somewhere there is somebody who has lost their faith and believes that God must be dead. Because evil is shooting in schools, shooting in churches and synagogues. Blood is all over the place, shooting in hospitals, shooting in the streets of Philadelphia. Somebody has lost their faith and they believe that God must be dead. If the government can get away with separating children from parents, if police officers can kill unarmed with impunity, if members of the crack house are more committed than the Christians are committed to the church house, somebody believes that God must be dead. But when the redeemed of the Lord take the witness stand, I said when the redeemed of the Lord take the witness stand and declare that God is still very much alive, that the presence of evil does not negate the existence of God. If it did, who was it that got me up this morning? Who is it that started me on my somebody's faith. There's some child listening for what you have to say. There's some wayward person listening for what the church has to say in these dark and evil days. There's somebody listening what other people of God say in these trying times. Somebody ought to say that he's still real and he can still rescue and he can still deliver and he still is stronger than Pharaoh. Something happens when the redeemed of the Lord say so. When the redeemed of the Lord say so, it causes somebody to remember. We too often forget what the Lord has done for us, the things he has brought us through. We forgot yesterday's blessings before we laid down on a bed that God provided. We forgot this morning's blessings before we even got to eat the lunch that God provided. We forget how far he has brought us while we are driving in automobiles that God provided. We complain about the rain while we're standing in houses and homes with roofs over our heads that God provided. But when the redeemed begin to say so, when the redeemed begin to talk about what the Lord has done, it cures spiritual amnesia. It reverses spiritual Alzheimer's. If it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, when my enemies came to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Anybody in here been blessed? Anybody in here been blessed by the Lord? Anybody in here been in danger but God brought you out? Can you remember the days when you thought you had nobody to help and God brought you help from somewhere? Maybe it was resources to get into college. Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was a friend. God has answered so many prayers that we should not complain 1 ounce, but give ourselves over to saying, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember when you didn't have much? Do you remember when you didn't have resources to feel comfortable? You remember the days when a bill collector would call you and you would start talking Spanish. You remember those days, but God has brought you. Look at you, look how good you look. Look at what you are wearing. Look at you, look at what God, look at how God has blessed you. Somebody ought to say, I give thanks. Yes, I give thanks. I remember when I used to have to clean bathrooms at Harvard University because my parents couldn't afford to pay my way like Caroline Kennedy's family could pay her way, who was on my list of bathrooms to clean, but she had so many locks on the door I couldn't get in there. But I remember that I didn't want to clean no bathrooms no more, and I went running to Reverend Adams at St. Paul A.M.E. Church. Can you use me for God's glory? Not only does somebody get rescued, not only does faith get rescued, not only does somebody remember, but when the redeemed of the Lord, I really wish I could preach this thing. When the redeemed of the Lord say so, somebody gets revived. David said, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for his mercy endures forever. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his excellent greatness. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his loving kindness. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he can do what no other power can do. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, because the devil missed his soul he thought he had. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for we have escaped from the foulest snare. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his wonderful works to the children of men. Say so because dead witnesses are in need of revival. Say so because dead churches are in need of revival. Say so because dead denominations are in need of revival. Say so because dead conferences are in need phrase. Somebody left the church. They say denominationalism is dead. They say mainline churches are hemorrhaging members. They say that the autopsy of the church has already been written. And all of that may be true. But I'm not singing turn out the lights, the party's over. I'm ready to sing hallelujah, thine the glory. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, thine the glory. Revive us again. And that means that this Thanksgiving, even if the turkey is dry, I'm going to give God thanks if the gravy don't taste right. I'm going to give him thanks if there's not enough sweet potatoes. I'm going to give him thanks if the cranberry sauce ain't right. I'm going to give him thanks. Somebody say yeah. I got too much to be thankful for. Somebody say hallelujah. 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 He is worthy to be praised. Because you've been redeemed. I've been redeemed by the hand of God, by the blood of the Lamb. Won't you stand all over the church? It is to that power that we ought to